The room fell silent the instant his hand met her face. A sharp crack echoed across the training hall, a sound that froze every cadet in place. Maya Brooks didn't flinch. Her cheek burned, yes, but her eyes stayed calm. Cold. Controlled. The kind of control that only comes from years spent in combat zones where one wrong move could mean death. The young cadet who had struck her. Cadet First Class. Ryan Hale instantly regretted it. His anger had blurred judgment. He thought she was mocking him. He thought she was just another civilian instructor sent to humiliate the rookies. He didn't know that Maya Brooks had worn the trident once, the insignia of a U.S. Navy SEAL. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Ryan's voice trembled as silence swallowed the hall. "You don't talk to me like that," he muttered, still trying to sound brave, but his tone wavered. The other cadets stepped back, unsure whether to intervene or stay quiet. Maya slowly turned her face back toward him. There was no anger, no hate, just a strange, unshakable stillness. She spoke softly, almost too softly for the echoing room. "Are you done?" Something in that voice made Ryan's stomach twist. He had heard commanders yell and drill sergeants curse, but never had he felt that quiet kind of danger. The kind that doesn't announce itself. It waits. Maya walked past him without another word. She picked up the clipboard she had dropped, brushed the dust off, and said to the class, "Lesson continues." "Line up!" No one moved. Her voice hardened. "I said line up!" Chairs scraped. Boots shuffled, and the air grew thick with confusion and shame. Ryan stood frozen, still processing what he'd done. He hadn't meant to hit her, not really, but she had called him undisciplined, told him his pride was heavier than his gear, and something inside him had snapped. He hadn't realized the truth. She had seen that kind of pride before. In war zones, in men who thought courage meant loudness. She knew it killed people faster than bullets. As drills resumed, whispers spread like wildfire. "She's not normal," one cadet whispered. "Did you see her eyes? She didn't even react. Who is she?" By noon, every cadet in the compound had heard about the woman Hale slapped. But the story changed as it spread. In some versions, she cried. In others, she fought back. Only a few knew the truth. She didn't need to fight. That afternoon, as the sun bled across the training ground, Commandant Rivers called Ryan into his office. "You slapped Maya Brooks?" His voice was low and controlled. Ryan nodded, shame flooding his face. "Do you have any idea who she is?" Ryan hesitated. "An instructor, sir?" The commandant leaned back. "She led the rescue team in Kandahar, pulled 3 soldiers out of a burning convoy. She's a SEAL veteran, son. And you hit her!" Ryan's blood ran cold. The room swayed slightly. I didn't know." "No, you didn't," Rivers replied. "And that's the problem. You thought you knew enough to judge someone by their silence." That night, Ryan couldn't sleep. The echo of that slap replayed over and over in his mind. He remembered her stillness, how she didn't even raise her hand. It wasn't weakness. It was control. The kind only warriors carried. The next morning, during field drills, the cadets assembled for the confidence course. Mud, ropes, walls, and exhaustion. The perfect punishment ground. Maya stood at the far end, arms crossed, observing. Ryan tried to avoid her gaze. Halfway through, a storm rolled in, sudden and merciless. Rain pounded the ground, turning dirt into sludge. A cadet slipped on the rope bridge, hanging by one arm. Panic broke through the ranks. "Get a harness!" one shouted. But Maya was already moving. In seconds, she sprinted up the incline, bare hands gripping the slick rope. The cadets could hardly see her through the rain, but her movements were sharp and methodical. When the wind whipped harder, she wrapped her legs around the rope, reached the dangling cadet, and with a single command, "Let go! I've got you!" She pulled him up. No hesitation, No fear, pure instinct. When her boots hit the ground, mud splashing, the silence that followed wasn't just admiration, it was awe. Ryan stood still, heart pounding. That's when he understood. This woman didn't speak like soldiers because she had seen what real battles cost. He walked toward her, soaked, ashamed, and trembling. "Ma'am," he stammered. "I was wrong. I thought you were—" She stopped him with a raised hand. "You thought I was someone you could disrespect." He nodded silently. Maya looked at him, not with anger, but with tired eyes. "You'll meet people in your life who speak softly. Don't mistake that for weakness. The quiet ones, they've usually survived more than you can imagine." For a moment, neither spoke. Rain washed the mud off her uniform sleeve, revealing a faded tattoo, a trident crossed with wings, the mark of a Navy SEAL. Ryan's breath caught. By evening, the base was buzzing again, but this time with respect. The story of the slap had changed meaning. It wasn't about humiliation anymore. It had become a lesson. A few days later, Commandant Rivers called both of them to the hall for a special announcement. "Discipline," he began, "isn't just control over others. It's control over yourself. Cadet Hale has requested to publicly apologize, and Ms. Brooks has agreed to stay on as lead instructor." Ryan stepped forward. His voice was steady now. "Ma'am, I'm sorry. I disrespected you, my team, and the uniform. I'll earn back what I lost." Maya studied him for a moment, then nodded. "You'll do better," she said. "That's what matters." The cadets clapped, hesitant at first, then louder, until the hall filled with the sound of hands, boots, and renewed respect. That night, as Maya sat alone in her quarters, she ran her fingers over the old trident tattoo. Her reflection in the dark window stared back, older, quieter, but still unbroken. She whispered to herself, "You can leave the battlefield, but it never leaves you." She thought of Ryan, a reflection of her younger self once, proud and lost. Maybe that's why she hadn't hit him back. Maybe teaching him restraint was her last mission. When morning came, Maya stepped out to the parade ground. The air smelled of rain and metal. Cadets were already running laps, their boots slapping the ground in rhythm. Ryan led them, posture straight, eyes forward. When he passed her, he gave a crisp salute. She returned it silently, and for the first time since she'd arrived, Maya smiled. Not a wide smile, just a small, tired one that spoke of peace earned the hard way. Because forgiveness, like courage, doesn't roar. It whispers, and as the sun rose over the base, turning the mud into gold, Maya Brooks knew something every soldier eventually learns. Battles aren't always fought with weapons. Sometimes they're fought with restraint. Because real strength isn't in striking back. It's in standing still when you could destroy. And she stood still that day and changed a life forever. Outro. If this story moved you even a little, drop a comment below. Tell me where you're watching from and what you felt. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories of courage, restraint, and redemption, because sometimes the quietest moments carry the loudest lessons.